You're listening to the Angry Designer Podcast, where we help frustrated graphic designers crush the industry chaos, ditch the social BS, and build badass, rewarding careers that actually pay. Now powered by Wix Studio.
Oh, how are you, my friend?
I'm well, thank you. And yourself?
Good. This is the midweek podcast recording, right?
Yep.
That used to be our thing, right?
Yeah,
Middle of the week?
Yeah.
Because this is hump day.
Is something.
Hump day. So, being that it's hump day,
Mhm.
obviously I start off every hump day by trying to avoid work. I do everything possible not to work just because it's Wednesday and you have to get around it somehow. She usually kind of gets me. And, it's been quite a while since I've been on Reddit. I love Reddit.
Right.
I usually get a lot of good feedback, content. I see what people are, talking about in the space. And there was a post. Okay, so this all kind of materialized today, okay? Because Reddit is full of people that are very passionate about stuff, so passionate that they use this platform to complain about everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I saw this post, and it was, it was great. Sorry, the post was a busy graphic design post. There was a lot of action in here.
There was a lot going on.
But it was the headline that got me, right?
Yes.
Because it said, being just a graphic designer, being just a graphic designer is getting risky. And I was like, bring it on.
Blood in the water.
Right? Well, because again, it's there's so many things that people need to realize and maybe even be refreshed about this space. I mean, again, there's some uncomfortable truths that people just have to get comfortable with about this space, right? And again, I fucking love this space, okay? I loved it when I was pulling my crazy hours. I loved it through my hustle phases, the ups, the downs, but never has it been easy, okay? It's never been a cakewalk. It's never been easy, right? And again, I think that's kind of our stance here. It's the best fucking industry to be in. Okay, we've got our goods, we got our highs, but it's got its bads, our lows, and then it's got the uglies, which is just like that gray area where it's like you can get taken advantage of, and then there's burnout. There's so many crazy things about this space that I just started going through this list, and there must have been like 60 or 70 just one-liners that people would just jump all over on this one. Like everybody was an expert, but it's just like I couldn't figure out if this was a thread about experts or a thread about whiners or a little bit of both. Like it just...
Yeah, you're right. I think Reddit has a healthy mix of both.
Well, yeah.
There was, some of those posts in there, there was a lot of, I would say probably veterans.
There was a lot of those, and they had very practical views.
And they were very practical.
Yep. Yeah.
Which I liked.
And then there was people that were they had these high expectations.
Yes.
And it was just like, you guys got to shake your head.
Yes.
Because this is not what the industry is about.
Yeah.
And so I thought for this episode, okay, I figure what we would do today is not necessarily bitch about this. My bitching is already done.
Bitch.
I've already bitched enough about it. But we're going to talk about, and we're going to unpack 14 things in here. Okay. 14 statements that I stood out, right? That I thought were worth talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. And to kind of throw, put our 5 cents into this. And everybody knows we definitely have an angle. We definitely have an opinion.
Yep.
We love this space, and we're not going to sugarcoat that, say that it's the best space in the world, because
it's tough.
It's a tough space.
It can chew you out the backside if you're not prepared for
Absolutely.
it. Yes.
And the reality is it's just going to get tougher. Okay. And faster. Okay. Again, this industry in my 25 years, 30 years of being in this space has changed so much from, all the way to print, then all the way to digital. Then all of a sudden came this whole, global economy, where it was like a race to zero. Then everything went social, right? Now fucking print is back.
Yep. Print is
Nobody
back.
knows how to do print anymore. Okay. So it's like the veterans actually have a one up there.
That's good.
And now AI has come in and just bucked everything up all over again.
Yeah.
And this is just in the past 25 years of us being in business. So the future, isn't going to get any easier. Okay. But at the same time, why would you want it to? Because I don't know.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense to me. I think that's part of the allure of what we do is the danger. You know what I mean? Like there's something exciting about that.
Yeah, well,
It gets your heart racing. Like today when I mistakenly sent that wrong deck.
The wrong deck,
It's just
right?
like,
Oh, wait. So you did send the wrong one?
No, we didn't, though. That's the thing.
They think you did.
I know. So I don't know what happened.
I know. I believe
but
you.
my heart was fucking racing when I got that.
She messaged. She's like, he sent us the wrong deck, but we sent the right one. So
yeah.
I don't know.
So I don't know.
But regardless,
anyway, it's
you still have a job, and that's what's important.
But my health was at risk there.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. You know what? Let's just jump into some of these comments because I think these are actually worth talking about, right? Like this very first comment. Okay, 14 comments, guys. 14. Okay, 14 comments we're going to discuss. This one, okay? Comment was, okay, we're now a commodity. Fonts, mock-ups, presets, everything's available in a plugin near you. Okay, so that was the actual comment, right? So, I guess, if designs become a commodity, then has design just become undervalued? And I think that's the big question here that we talked about. Like, has design become like devalued in the client's eyes?
Jeez, I don't know.
This is something I know I've talked about quite a bit in some of the apps and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of feel it has.
Oh, okay.
Well, and I do, right? Because unfortunately, the tools are everywhere, and people don't quite understand design. Okay, they don't understand what a designer does, and in part because the word is confusing. But I mean, people now only look at what we deliver, and they say that's design.
Right.
They designed a logo.
Right.
They designed a website. They designed a brochure. Okay, nobody ever really talks about the process of design. And so when customers or anybody, our parents, our kids, friends, when they just focus on the end product, well, now you have, AI that'll spit up a logo in 5 seconds.
Yep.
Okay. And that's on a bad day. Okay. Yep. You've got Canva that makes design, for idiots. Okay. Or makes idiots able to design something that looks good.
Much better, yeah.
Okay? Yes. Sorry, guys. Sorry, idiots. You have all these templates out there, and they all, so again, all this stuff out there looks good, and to the untrained person, they think it's easy to do because look, I can just get a design. And now look, I'm just like you. I'm a designer. I went to Canva and I designed it myself.
Right.
So I think they're valuing design, but the wrong aspect. So it's almost like we've done it to ourselves in this case with all these tools and templates and everything else.
But when was the last time you took a template and used that?
I never had.
That's what I'm saying.
I never have.
Because you have a brain. You know exactly.
Well, and I think what the difference is, not that we have a brain, we have taste.
Taste. Yeah.
Okay.
But somebody, your aunt is going to come in there and she's going to go, she's going to make her little yard sale on this and it's going to look like shit.
It will, right? It will. And so, but again, that's why I think it's devalued because she hasn't actually gone through the process of building that sign herself. She just knows if she wants to, she can go to Canva and do it.
Right.
Okay. So Canva's got like, I think it was like a 10-to-1 ratio of more subscribers than Adobe does.
Yeah.
Okay. But the paid subscribers were 10 times less.
Okay.
Yeah. Which just means everybody signed up for Canva, but nobody's fucking using it.
Yeah. That is a shocking statistic.
I know. It's kind of a crazy statistic. So with that being said, it leads me to think that, people don't value design because oftentimes people don't go through the process of the design and they just focus on that end result. Okay.
Yeah.
Which feels commoditized because now people only focus on the end result and not the process to get to that.
Yes.
That end result is everywhere.
Yeah.
In so many forms. And again, that's the wrong area that we want to compete in. So in that sense, I understand why they feel like a commodity.
Yeah.
But then again, I think if they feel like a commodity, those designers that use these comments are hiding behind the tools and not actually selling the process.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
And if that's the case,
yeah,
they're already replaced.
Exactly.
So, if that's you, be worried. Okay. Because it's coming for you. And that's just Moss's words. So, okay, here's another one. Here's number 2. Okay. This guy said, or girl, I specialized in logos for 10 years. Now, 90% of the work that gets undercut, 90% of that work gets undercut by Fiverr or AI. So this is in line with the last one, right? This is what he's saying, right? So I guess, the big topic here is niching dead in this space, is my opinion, right? Here we're talking about a logo designer, right? And again, he is probably focusing on that end product. Okay. And the end result. Okay. We have a lot of friends, good friends, dear friends, that this is what they do. They focus on it, right?
Yeah.
And it scares the hell out of me. And I have the conversations with them all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm not worried about them because they don't focus on just that end result. Okay. So again, Alan Peters is one person that we look up to, is a good friend of ours now, I'd like to think anyway.
Yep.
And he focuses, on the logo, on brand development, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't just deliver that though, because if you watch what he does online, you watch his videos, he talks about the process. He breaks down the logo. Here's the problems that they had. Here is the problems I overcame.
Yep.
And this is that end product that I created.
Right.
So this guy here who's going on about, after 10 years, now 90% of his work is being undercut. He's selling that end product because that's all Fiverr gives away. That's all AI does.
Exactly.
It's not what Alan gives away. That boy, he will talk through, and he does that with customers.
Yeah.
He gives them the big spiel, how we got there, right? James Bernard will do the same thing, right? Even CJ Colley, the guys that we work with, you see what their breakdown is, their process.
Yeah.
That's what they're selling to customers. So although I do always worry about niching in a specific skill set. Okay. These guys aren't selling just that end product.
No.
They're selling the process to get there.
Exactly. Yes.
And the byproduct
yes.
is that end product.
Yes, exactly.
And so, yeah.
And that's far more attractive to any clients. Like if you're just going to take a logo and drop it on and say, there you go.
Yep, exactly, right?
I mean, I could have done that, but Alan's going to tell you exactly his process and what everything he went through to get to this
that, right?
Final step.
And that's why you guys should really check out his videos, go into detail. He's teaches people, his process, how he goes through this, his thought process, right? What the issues are to overcome. Even when he's breaking down a logo to rebuild a different version of it, he doesn't just oh, this sucks, so I'm going to do a better version, right? He will actually talk him through. So I do think that, although I was scared, and here's the thing. If AI gets to a point where it becomes a valuable tool for someone like Alan or James or CJ to use in their logo, development, they would, because they're not selling that final product.
Yes.
Right? They're selling the idea and how they got there,
right.
The business problems they overcame, the history behind of what it was and why this new mark is so much better. Not, I need a new mark.
Yeah.
It has to be in this style. It has to use this phrase in it. And it has to include a what the fuck duck.
What the fuck?
Okay. And then, blah, 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 right? Check. This is not what they're delivering.
No.
So again, if this dude was specializing in logos for 10 years and now all of his work is being undercut by AI or Fiverr, I think he was focusing on the wrong deliverable to the customer.
You're probably right. Yes. He's on the wrong end of it.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3. This person said, I do it all now. I have to. If I don't say yes to motion, web, print, I don't eat. Well, first off, who the fuck is eating motion, web, print? Yeah, I eat food if I have to. Dad joke. Proud dad joke. Okay. This is kind of one of those, is this a survival move or is this just kind of getting one step closer to burnout? Okay. And this is kind of scary, right? Because again, this isn't the case of niching. This is actually quite the opposite, right? But this person is going on about having to, expand their skill set. So is this the right move?
Yes. I mean,
I agree.
Why? That's the thing. Is graphic design touches so many different aspects. Like motion graphics, website, UI, UX, this kind of stuff. It's very closely related. And there were people on there that were saying, well, you wouldn't ask the plumber to do electrical work. Those are two very different trades. Yes.
100%.
We are it's all under this little umbrella.
Right?
And
exactly.
We're like monkeys.
Yeah.
That curiosity. You touch the obelisk.
And we should be.
And it's like, I'm curious about motion graphics.
Yes.
I'm curious about UI.
Well, and
UX.
here's the thing. Wouldn't motion graphics make your logo presentations better?
Exactly.
Right? It brings your logos to fucking life.
Yes.
Okay. There's something called stacking. Okay. You stack your skill sets. Okay. And okay, it's one thing to say, I'm going to be the world's best graphic designer. I'm going to be the world's best web designer. I'm going to be the world's best pay-per-click and SEO. Okay.
Yeah.
That's spreading yourself a little too thin. Okay. But, okay, you are a logo designer. Well, motion web goes hand in hand with logo design, right? Corp ID goes hand in hand with that. Layout design goes hand in hand with that. This isn't just a matter of spreading yourself thin and getting closer to burnout.
Yes.
This is evolving and offering the customer more of what they need to, like, imagine designing a logo and then being like, okay, customer, no, here's your logo.
Yep.
I'm not going to make it move for you. I'm also not going to make it responsive for you. And, you better take it to somebody else to do that.
How can I use this?
Yeah.
Oh, I just designed it for you. What do you want from me? Oh, I'm burning out. No,
Jeez.
It's crazy. It's crazy because these are exciting little element, or is exciting. It's daunting. I will maybe give this person that, and that might present burnout in a different kind of way because it is a lot to learn.
It can be, right?
Yeah.
But again, I think that this is an issue of stack smart, not stack wide.
Yes. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
And again, make sure everything that you deliver, okay, is complementary to what you do. And it's to your benefit to understand that all these do fall under umbrellas, especially now with no code tools. There's no reason why graphic designers shouldn't be creating websites. Web design was always should have always been graphic designers underneath our belt.
Yep.
Just the reality is nobody wanted to code.
Yeah.
But now with tools like Wix Studio, shameless plug there, you can create a full website and you don't have to worry about coding. So why wouldn't you want to take that back?
Yes.
Because now you're delivering the entire spectrum of deliverables. Now, I'm not saying go do pay-per-click. I'm not saying do SEO. That's in our world.
Yeah.
But it's not a smart stack.
Yeah.
That's a wide stack.
That's what.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, do it all and get paid to do it all. And you get paid by being able to retain these customers for years and years and years because they don't have to go to anybody else.
Exactly.
They can now stick with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that one I totally,
Yeah.
All right. Well, we agree on that one.
Okay, that's good.
All right. Here's this one. Ready? Here's one.
Yeah.
Clients expect 24-hour turnarounds because they think you just drag and drop everything. Okay. So here's my debate point. Is this the client's fault or the designer's fault if this is the expectation?
I think that's the designer's fault.
Well, exactly, right?
You got to be selling that wrong.
Exactly, right? You are taking, maybe you're early, maybe you're anxious, maybe you're delivering stuff to the customer next day because you want to be on their good side.
Yeah.
But let's face it, you can't go backwards. Okay?
Yeah.
Once they got a taste for this is what they're going to expect. Okay? I had a conversation today with a customer and he was mocking me about, well, why can't you just get it tomorrow? I know it doesn't take that long to do it. And I'm like, dude, it's not the point. We've got other customers. This has to go back into production. You will get this in 2 days because it's about a half day's worth of work. And if I have nothing to do other than wait for you, okay, I'm going to be out of business. Right. He's like, I get it. I know. This convenience culture that designers have created really has hurt the whole process side of what we do, right?
Yeah.
And customers and now customers don't value the process because too many designers were too eager to please. I've had to set, and this is horrible to say, I've had to set designers here straight because they're eager to please customers, which is good. But I warn them that these customers that they're eager to please will just get more of a taste and more of a taste.
Yep.
And then they will expect you to drop shit for them. Then what happens is after 2 weeks, okay, they're like, holy shit, man, they're expecting this like in an hour. I've got this other job. And I'm like, now why did we get to this point?
Exactly.
Right? So you might be slow, but you still have to remember that if they're asking you for a 2-hour fix, and you have 2 hours, it doesn't mean you have to give it to them in 2 hours.
Exactly.
Do it.
Yeah.
Hold on to it.
Yeah.
And make sure that they understand that there's a process. Okay. And that they might want it in 24 hours, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get it in
Exactly.
24 hours.
Exactly.
There's always exceptions, but as a rule of thumb, right? You start giving them this expectation, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse.
Push and push. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So unfortunately, in this case, this designer trained their customer to be like that, and now it's their responsibility to untrain them from being like this.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they're just going to have to fire them.
Yeah.
And that'll teach them a lesson. Jeez.
Harsh.
All right. All right. We're on to the next stage.
Yeah.
This is more, I'm going to capture, or I'm going to describe these questions as more out like the fallouts of being a designer. Okay.
Ooh.
And so that's what these next three questions are, right?
Okay.
Like, for example, okay, we've gotten to this point now, okay? Someone wrote, every job listing is looking for a designer, coder, animator, social media manager, barista. Clever.
Come on.
So the debate here is, are these expectations from employers realistic? Right? And this is tricky, especially depending on what kind of employer this is.
Can I say yes or no? Yes and no?
Kind of, you can.
There is a like, what happened to the old days when web design and all that stuff was ripped from our hands and this UX thing was created?
Right.
And all of a sudden there's a whole UX department.
Right.
Now
it doesn't need to.
It was ballooned up to a big bloated piece of crap. And now it seems like companies are trying to contract all that kind of stuff.
Kind of, right? And they're realizing, okay, so look, let's face this, okay? Our job didn't necessarily evolve. It didn't really change.
No.
But the world
Everything else did.
Okay? And this is a really important point, right?
Yes.
Because again, as mentioned, web design should have always been underneath our umbrella. Okay.
Yes.
It has to do with the company brand. It has to do with delivering the company message. It's all layout and design, but we weren't capable. Okay. Because we weren't coders. And that was a very, very, when we're talking about smart stacking, that web design was very out there.
Exactly. Okay? Yeah.
You didn't touch you don't need, now it's almost like the tools have evolved in the workplace so much that it almost does come back to us. Okay. Now it's like, why would you get a network engineer to code a website? This is a designer's job. They should be doing this, right? So, because the world has evolved to the point where all this shit's happening, it's all accessible. It's all easier. It's like the expectations for what we are capable of doing has now increased.
Yes.
So it's kind of a compliment to think that they would be like, oh, wow, so does that mean you can do this? Yeah. And you can do this? Wow, that's amazing. It kind of makes you a super, well, I don't want to say a superhero, but
a Swiss Army knife.
Sure. I like that. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
A super Swiss Army knife. Because I led with super, I want to finish with super, okay?
Super Ball? No, that just does one thing.
But I mean, again, the reality is, like we just mentioned before, right? You want to build your stack, okay?
Okay, yeah.
And understand that this world is now, accommodating, the tools are accommodating. They're making our job faster. They're making it easier, right? Listen, you don't have to be a copywriter anymore because now 90% of your simple copy, can be done through AI. Okay. And that's a sad reality. Doesn't mean copywriters aren't valuable. I would still use a copywriter to write a blog, but you don't have to anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is now this is now the reality of all the tools in the marketplace.
Yeah.
So, is it right? But I'd say build your stack. Not worry about build out that resume, right?
Yeah.
And make sure that you curate the kind of abilities that make you valuable.
Yes.
All right. And that's it.
Yes.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
But then good luck getting that job.
That's the thing. And I guess that's why my yes or no is because we've kind of cut that switch for ourselves, right?
Yes.
Because we were curious and because we want to do other things, we want to learn. So it's almost like we're doing it to ourselves.
It's true. But the reality is there's no reason why we can't.
That's why we shouldn't.
So 20 years ago, even 25 years ago, when we used to have to hand code websites, a fucking website would take a week. A simple one.
Yeah.
A simple one would take a week. Dude, I could get something up in an hour now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, why wouldn't we learn that? Because you know what? That's long-term job security.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. So just shake your head. And, if you don't want to evolve, with the expectations of the industry, don't. Seriously.
It's up to you.
But then don't cry and whine about it when you can't find a job.
Yeah.
Because some 20-something-year-old new hungry designer is learning every tool because it's such a quick, easy learning curve. That, okay, well, there you go. Give it to him because this kid's going to do it. Okay, number 6. Okay. When everything's a priority, nothing's a priority. We're drowning in scope creep. So again, the debate here.
Yeah.
Is this the client's fault or is this the designer's fault?
Oh, can I say both again?
Oh, I'd like to hear. Okay, tell me about the customer.
Well, the customer does things sometimes to see, and they say, "Oh, that's not what I wanted."
Yes,
knowing full well.
Yep.
But partly it is our fault because we didn't do our research enough to figure out exactly what the user is gonna be seeing. Do you know what I mean?
Dude,
Did
I think
that?
no, I think you do. So
Okay.
what we have done has made the client result in the way they have and made the client act and they have.
Right.
So if the project has turned into a fucking mess,
Yes.
it's because your process
Is
is a mess.
Yes, there.
Okay.
That's
So the reality is, okay, it's not to say that a customer is never going to be wrong.
no. They do this. They
will
pivot. Yeah.
But the thing is, scope creep happens
Mhm.
when rules aren't in place. Okay. And if you have a rock solid process to cover all those boxes, look, we don't send for websites, we don't send any creative until the customer has approved the sitemap
Yeah.
and they've approved all the wireframes
Mhm.
and they've approved the mood board, right? Of
Yep.
what they want
Yep.
for the website itself.
Right.
If we were to jump straight to creative and miss those two spots,
Oh,
the
Jesus.
changes, the
Yes.
issues, the scope creep that we would go because we didn't catch all those things.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, it's not to say that the clients are never going to do it. We had this happen today.
Yeah.
Okay. Same job that, you were talking about. I was talking to the customer and he's like, so how did you quote that anyway? And I was like, well, on a good note, this was on retainer. And because you guys couldn't get aligned on your end, we're not responsible. If we screwed something up,
Yeah.
I wouldn't count those hours against you.
Yeah.
But because you guys were indecisive, everything you asked, we delivered.
Yeah.
And you guys kept on changing across your departments.
Mhm.
I'm not being punished for that. You are. And he was like, oh,
Fair enough,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
He wanted us to give him a quote and to stick to it.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Yeah.
but that means you're sticking to one set of revisions.
Yeah.
That's it. Anything past that, you're
Right.
being paid for.
Right.
They're on retainer because they're a little bit of a wildcat.
Right.
Works for us.
Yep.
How many more revisions do you want? How much out of scope, does this project need to get? Bring it on.
So with non-retainer clients, that's what you would do. You would charge them per revision.
Non-retainer clients,
Yeah.
Blue Moon clients, we call them, or Blue Moon
Mhm.
projects, right? Because they're just once in a while,
So
right?
blue-
We will give them a very specific SOW.
Okay.
That SOW says how many revisions
You have.
are included.
Okay.
And it says anything outside of this may be billed in accordance to,
Yeah.
and then we cite, one of the other parts in there that says
Right.
hourly rate, what's included, what's not included.
Yeah.
And you have to hold that. You have to hold that line.
Right.
In this situation, this person's drowning in scope creep. But again, scope creep happens when you don't set those rules up ahead of
That's
time.
right. That's
Right?
right.
So one of two options.
Mm.
Retainer, if they change their mind because of indecision on their end and they're messed up, hey, no problem. We'll just keep billing against it because it's an open check as far as we're concerned.
Right.
But if there's a specific quote we have to follow, got to be a hard ass. You got to follow that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
All right, designers, let's cut the bull. How many times have you had a killer website design only to watch it fall apart because of code or developer telling you no? Or maybe you've held back from web design altogether thinking it's just too complicated and too technical or totally out of your wheelhouse. Either way, it's time for a change. Wix Studio is designed for designers, removing the barriers that limits your designs. Whether you're tired of developers watering down your ideas or too intimidated by the technical side of web, Wix Studio puts the creative power back in your hands. No code required. With a drag and drop interface that feels designer intuitive, plus no code animations and even AI powered tools, you can create fully custom websites that match your vision. Every pixel, every detail. And if you're worried about the learning curve, don't be. Wix Studio is designed to feel as intuitive as your favorite design tools. Some designers here even say more so. That means you can jump right in and focus on what you do best, designing badass, brand-aligned websites that'll take your business to the next level. So whether you've had enough of developers holding you back, or you're ready to finally step into web design, check out wixstudio.com and take control. That's wixstudio.com. Go and take back web design for graphic designers.
All right, here's another one. Ready? Ready? They said they don't want your soul. They want unlimited revisions, weekends, just this one more tweak. Okay? That was what the comment on Reddit. A lot of the same. You see a lot of this stuff, right?
There's a lot of, yeah.
So the debate here is, of course, is the designer being exploited, or is this a lack of boundaries?
Lack of boundaries, for sure.
100%
Right?
for sure.
Yeah.
100%
If
for
you
sure.
don't want to work on the weekends, that's your prerogative.
Absolutely
Right?
it is, right?
Yeah.
But if you take that call for the customer,
If you want to work on the weekends just to please this person, then you know what? You're going to be working on the weekend.
you teach customers. You have to teach them,
You teach
right?
them how to treat you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How to treat you, where your boundaries are, where your limitations are. If customers are asking you for stuff on weekends, okay, once maybe under an emergency, but there is no such thing as a creative emergency. There's no such thing. Okay.
There are a lot of life and death markets.
Yes, right? There's no design doctor who's like, this logo doesn't have a pulse. Quick. Give it a shot of adrenaline. It's Saturday night. It's true, right?
It's Saturday night.
Look, again,
that's good.
the reality is if you don't set those boundaries with the customer, right, the customer will keep pushing. Some customers work all the time.
Yeah.
We've got some customers and I can't believe they're always working. I don't want to always fucking be working. And I tell them the same thing.
Yeah.
I will give you, as much time as you want, Monday to Friday.
Between these hours. Yes.
Exactly, right? And even Monday to Friday, I'll make myself available a little later during the work week, and that's fine.
Or earlier.
Because everybody, our customers got different time zones.
That's true.
Right? So I'm a little more flexible Monday to Friday, but I let them all know that come Friday, 5 Eastern, don't even reach out. Don't bother. I'll ignore it. They can text me, they can call me, and I won't even respond till Monday, right? And that feels like a dick move, but again, I have had customers in the past that you give them a little bit,
and
you give them another one.
Yeah.
Even the whole, I just want to talk about an idea. Oh, shit. Because then that turns into, can I see something for Monday?
Exactly. Now that we've talked about this, could you just mock it up?
Yeah, make it happen.
Oh, shit.
All right. So again, you don't necessarily get the clients you always want.
Yeah.
Okay. But you will get the clients that you allow. Okay. And so if you allow them to reach out to you in the weekends and that you'll cater to them, they will turn into that.
Yeah.
So just set boundaries early and stop. That's it.
Yep.
This isn't an issue about being a graphic designer. This, unfortunately, is his fault.
Yeah.
Or her fault.
Totally. And then that leads back to burnout because you're doing this all goddamn week and you don't have any rest.
Exactly.
So you're just this is just a toxic situation. So
yeah. And again, let's face it.
Set those boundaries.
We've talked about this before. Burnout isn't a result of the industry.
No.
Burnout, unfortunately, is a result of a lot of decisions or things you let slide and they build up and you never, you didn't deal with them as they happen, right? And then all of a sudden you have this customer on the weekend, another customer who wants you to do 20 different things, another customer who expects something the next day.
Yeah.
Because you let all these things happen, you are now going to feel burnout, okay? And you'll get hit with it hard and you will blame the industry, but the reality is it's not the industry's fault. It's yours for letting it happen and let it get to that spot.
Yep.
So just don't even let it get to that spot. Do yourself a favor. Say no from the start.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
Now we got into a new section, okay? This is strategic crossroads, because I think this is something that's really important. And again, I grouped these ones up because again, this is a real, reflection of what the industry is right now, right? And what we're all dealing with, right? Like this one, number 8, okay? Clients don't want design. They want business problems solved.
Yeah.
Yes. So now this isn't a matter of our customers losing the value of design. Are designers losing the value of design? Have they forgotten what we're doing here?
Holy shit.
I know.
Yeah, that's heavy.
That's pretty heavy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Well, because for somebody to actually say this in a blog that says being just a graphic designer is getting risky, and you're complaining about, they want me to solve problems.
I gotta think now.
Right. Well, what exactly did they think that they were signing up for is my question, okay?
Yes.
Are they losing the value, the understanding, the purpose of what design actually is? And that's my question on this one, right?
Is this person a graphic artist, perhaps?
And I wonder if this was the case, right? Did they think that they were just going in to decorate?
Yes.
Okay. But design that's just decorating without purpose is just that.
It's just that.
You're just a graphic artist. You're not a graphic designer. I mean, design is the difference. You, as a designer, we are hired to solve problems.
Yes.
Big problems, sometimes huge ones. We're not just signed to decorate them.
No.
Okay, and let's just make them look pretty and hide the problem behind all this great
Flash.
artistic flash. That's not what this is.
No.
So I kind of think that either you are of the group that is solving business problems, or you're the one who's just decorating them.
Yeah.
So again, what side of the fence are you on this one?
Wow, that's a really bizarre question for
I thought so.
I'm a designer.
Well, and again, I don't think this was a designer. I think this was just somebody who just wanted to get in and just make things look pretty, right? Make things look good. But then again, they're the ones who are going to be competing with AI, competing with Fiverr. They're the ones who are going to be complaining because it's a race to the bottom and they're getting less money for everything.
Yes.
Okay. And again, clients, if you're just selling the end result of what you're doing, not the value of what you bring to the table and the process and the problems you solve, dude, you're dead in the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No
So anyway, I thought that was kind of a funny one. And again, shocked that I read that one.
Yeah, that is a shocker.
Okay. But, in a similar vein, okay, this one said, clients want a designer and a strategist so they don't have to pay you for your thinking. So free thinking versus paid thinking is the debate question I wonder here.
I see. Okay. So you just go in there and give them all your ideas and they take them and then
not pay for them?
And then they don't pay for them and then you get mad at that?
My opinion, shame on you for being too excited and blurting out ideas while you're in front of them.
There you go. So it's like a pitch meeting gone fucking sideways.
Right. And it's like,
we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Shut up.
Unless you're fucking Paula Shore, who can come up with the idea on a napkin in front of the customer and still charge them $1 million for that idea.
Big ups, Paula.
Good for you, Paula. Well played. The reality is you have to hold back. You can't be blurting out ideas. You can't brainstorm on the spot. You can't be like, I got it. I got the idea.
Why don't we blank, blank, blank.
Exactly, right? It doesn't mean oftentimes, designers, once you get to a certain place, once you've been doing this for so long, you've had so many customers, ideas come quick. Solutions come quick. Okay. I have many times been in a client meeting and I'm like,
you're thinking.
I already know what the problem is.
Exactly.
I've already asked 100 questions.
Yes.
I've been here. This is my industry. This is what we know. This is what we do. I know the problem.
Did you blurt it out?
If I tell them, it's not worth anything.
That's right.
Right?
Exactly.
And that's in this situation what happens, right? You have to start charging for your thinking. Your thinking is worth more than that end result that you hand over to the customer. Because that end result, we don't know what the future looks like. It could be easily replicated by AI. It could be with the way it's going in 3 to 5 years, there's going to be some AI tools that you'll be able to edit little parts, be like more like this, less like this. It will do the work of your hands, unfortunately. Okay. So with that being said, okay, what are you going to sell the customer? It's that process to get there that you have to sell them. It's the value of your thinking, okay? So unfortunately, it's not that they want a designer and a strategist so they don't have to pay for your thinking. Being a designer means, being a legit designer is all about the strategy that we bring, okay? That's what people pay for.
Yeah.
Not the little wiggy-a-dig that you can design afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah. That's important, but not like the thinking aspect of it.
Right? Absolutely.
Yeah. Holy jeez. Wow, that's a crazy question too.
Exactly right. So if you can start charging for your thinking, not just your output, and phrase it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, everything you do, start phrasing it in the sense of your thinking, the value you're bringing, the problem you're solving, not the logo you're going to create and the lookbook you're going to create with it thereafter. All right, number 10. AI isn't replacing designers. It's replacing the average ones.
Yeah.
So again, the debate here that I saw on this Reddit, tool or threat. Okay. And that's kind of where AI has always been playing, right? Right. So again, the train of thought that I have, of course, is AI doesn't replace designers. It doesn't kill designers. It doesn't even really kill design.
No.
But it does expose, the flaws, the weak ones, the ones who really don't know what they're doing, or the average ones.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really scary thing for a lot of people, because I think a lot of designers out there, aren't necessarily as confident in their strategy mindset. They're not confident in the value they bring. They're confident in making things look good, and they can do great at creating wedding invitations, and they can, put together a really snazzy poster. Woo! But the strategy to get to some of these valuable deliverables, I think that they're falling behind on, they're lacking, they're not confident with. And so in situations like this, tools like AI absolutely going to expose them. And if they don't level up, it'll replace them.
Yes, big time. Yeah,
absolutely.
It is probably the coolest, most important tool that we've had.
Yeah.
Available to us.
Monumental shift in our space.
Big time.
Because now designers have the ability, even average designers have the ability with a little bit of work to level up their strategy game to the same level as giant agencies and strategy consulting companies. You can get to this level, which means ultimately, your whole strategy game it's endless. It's limitless in this case, okay? If you're nervous about AI, it's because you're coasting through this.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not leveling up your game. You're not actually, taking yourself to that next level. And, rightfully so, you should be nervous because you will be obsolete.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yep. Big time.
All right. Ready?
Okay.
We got like 4 more of these, okay?
Okay.
These last 4,
what are we in?
I've grouped together under the hard truth.
Oh.
A hard truth, everybody.
I saw
because
that
I think
movie
these
once.
ones, you like that?
Yeah.
All right. Number 11.
Yeah.
It's not about being good. It's about being visible.
Oh.
Right? So again, this is one about, should good design speak for itself? That's the big question, right? Should good design sell itself? Does good design sell itself? This is something that we've talked about quite a bit over the years.
Yes and no. Ever since the beginning of time, when I started,
nice.
There was a little thing called communication arts, right? So all these great designers, all these awesome people, I learned about them in that magazine, right?
Oh, nice.
So this would kind of be Instagram for us old people.
Interesting, right? Well, you're right. I mean, again, that's how it, and again, it's oftentimes, just like in this magazine, right? You always saw people better than you knew you were better than a lot of the people in it.
There's that, yes, because they were submitted and anybody could get in them.
But I mean, even if we take a step back and think of just our own careers, right? Designers, you're like, how the hell did they get that? They're not even that good. Okay. Or I knew other agencies, and it's just like, how did they land that customer? We're 10 times better than they are. Okay. But the reality is, good design doesn't sell itself.
No.
And that really does come down to it. You know what I mean? It can submit you in a magazine.
It could do that.
Right? In communication arts.
Yeah.
Great. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to do the job and get you that job, get you hired, it's not necessarily it.
What's that buddy you were talking about? You said he was one of the best designers you've ever.
Yeah. And
what does he do? Like
But now he's living in Portugal on the beach,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
doing tourist posters. Good for
Right.
him. Or
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
that's where he's good. That's where he
Yeah.
says he's going. And
Yeah.
I envy him for that.
Yeah, that's
But again,
awesome.
you know, and he struggled with, you know, getting in front of people,
Right.
you know, being able to sell himself,
Right.
right? And that's something that a lot of designers go through.
This is true. But you said he was a great designer.
Oh,
though,
best
right?
designer I ever knew.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
but if he's not out there and nobody knows who he is, I mean,
that's it, right?
that's-
The reality is, unfortunately, is that, you know, visibility
Mm.
beats skill.
oh,
That's the hard truth.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
You can be out there. You could be at
Yes.
a networking meeting beside
You're
the
right.
best designer in the world. But if that customer comes up and that designer is very quiet and doesn't can't
meek
think, and the other guy is like, oh, I can talk business with you. I can sell this. I can sell that.
Yep.
It really isn't about design skills at
You
that
can't.
point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So the reality is being good isn't good enough.
Nope.
Okay. If nobody knows you exist.
Yeah.
And that's the sad reality.
Yeah.
So you know what? You have to work on your personal brand. You have to build that portfolio up, and you have to get out there one way or another.
Yep.
That's a whole other podcast that we've had. Okay.
Yes.
But I highly recommend it. So unfortunately, good design does not sell itself.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Number 12.
Mm.
This is what somebody said.
Hard truths.
Clients skip the process and go straight to mock-ups. So the debate here, is this process or is this speed? Okay.
Hmm.
If they skip your process, okay, it's if they skip your process and just go to the sales,
You did do it right.
you didn't sell your process right.
Okay.
Right?
Good. Okay.
Well, you're right.
Yeah.
You didn't do it right,
Yeah,
right? Because they're like, okay, well, when do I get to see the exciting stuff? When do I get to see the logo? When do I get to see the mock-ups, right?
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, if you're saying that clients don't care about your process,
Mm.
they just want to go to the mock. Well, dude, your process is your IP.
Yes.
Your process can be the most valuable thing that you actually deliver,
Mhm.
okay? That you sell to a customer,
Mhm.
okay? It's actually not that end result, but it's the process that you go through to get to that end result. That's the most important. So if clients just want to skip that,
Yeah.
you didn't sell that hard enough. You
Yeah.
didn't sell the value to that, which means you're probably selling $300 logos. Okay. Because again, our process, the logo part of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's the smallest part of our whole logo process. The discovery session is like
Yes.
10 times that.
Exactly.
Okay. On our quotes.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
again, you know, the process is where the value is.
Mm.
Okay. And it's your job as a graphic designer to be able to frame that. Okay. And then to be able to protect that and make sure customers don't veer from that, because that's what the value is. That's your IP, dude.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
That's the way you go about things, dude. We've done a couple hundred websites.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
And every one of
Never
them
have
follow
diverted
the
from
exact same process.
That's right.
And we win customers
Yeah.
not on showing them websites that we've done, because
Yep.
half the time we don't even show them websites.
It's the-
We talk about our process
It's-
and they know that it's like,
Yeah.
that's what I want, because that sounds like it's, and guess what? It will get a replicatable result, because
Mhm.
we've done it for 100 other
We've done
customers
this before. Yeah.
and we'll do it for you too.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no ego here on the customer's end.
Yeah.
They don't be like, oh, well, I want to be treated special. It's a fucking website. It's an end result that you are selling, that they need,
Yeah.
and they want to go to somebody that they know they can deliver it.
Plus, you think if you went, like, back to the website analogy, if you went and delivered mock-ups right off the top,
Mhm.
you're gonna have to go all the way back. Well, we don't want this page to do this, and no, you have to do the
Exactly.
process, the steps along the way, get approval on the
Yep.
wireframes.
You know, I have the
And the
perfect
site
example
maps.
for that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure many of you have gone through this. It's like going through a project, you're 2/3 of the way through,
Mhm.
you've gone through everything, you've gone through the discovery session, everything else, and at the 11th hour, a new person joins the group.
I remember
And that new person, they weren't exposed to the process to
They
get
had no
to this.
idea. Yeah.
And they're like,
what's
well,
going on?
why don't we do this? How come that's not? It's just like, we talked about it. It was vetoed out. It's going to be more this. It's going to be like, but it's that person at the 11th hour
Yeah.
that fucks everything up.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what it's like if
Yeah.
you skip your process
Yes.
and go straight to design.
Right.
You will have that 11th hour person
Yeah.
all the time.
Who had no idea what was going on. Yeah,
Exactly.
That would be your whole project.
Exactly.
Oh, what a
right.
nightmare.
It's true. It's true.
Oh.
So again, if clients skip your process and go straight to the mock-up, they
Yeah.
want to see the creative.
Yeah.
You're not selling your process good enough, hard enough,
No.
and you're not protecting it
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Two more.
Okay.
Being just a designer is like being a cook who refuses to learn how to plate a dish or write a menu. I loved this one because I love food.
Yeah.
And again, this is either really deep or is really fucking lazy, in my opinion, right? But it's true. Design isn't just how it looks, which is the cook who's
Yes.
creating something,
Yes.
right? This is how it solves a problem, how you present it, how you frame it.
Mhm.
It's not just about, does the food taste good? Just like we
Exactly.
said before.
Yeah.
Okay. It needs to be more than just taste good. Because how many times have you seen slop in front of you? It might taste incredible.
It tastes great, but if it looks awful, yeah.
You're not going to taste it. You're not going to want it, right?
Exactly.
So again, you don't necessarily have to do every one of those things if you don't want to,
right.
but you need to at least understand the value
The
of every other thing there.
There you go.
The plating, the menu. You need to understand that, okay? Otherwise, you're just a fucking tool.
Mhm.
You're just going to be a simple cog in a bigger chain of events. And if that's the case, then you will be replaceable.
Yep.
In this situation, you know what that is? You got a chef and you got a line cook.
Yeah.
Which would you rather be? The line cook or the chef? So you guys, I just want to be a graphic designer. I just want to cook the food. Guess what? You're not a graphic designer. You're the fucking line cook.
Exactly.
All right?
Yes.
All right. And last but not least, guys, okay? Jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than the master of one.
Oh.
So that's the actual quote.
Wow.
Right? People always stop at jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
But the full quote is actually kind of goes back to saying that, hey, as a generalist, there's a lot more value than just not. So the reality is, do you specialize? Okay. Or do you stay a generalist? Or do you stack properly
There you
right?
go. I think that's the third option is the best. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because you can be somewhere in between that.
Well, kind of, right?
Can you?
Again, people forget that there's two kinds of niches,
Right.
right? You can niche in a skill.
Yeah.
Just do logo design blindly and that's it.
Yeah.
Or you can niche in an industry. We are B2B technology industry.
Right.
Okay. So
but we do everything else inside of
we're
that.
a full service generalist agency. And the value I bring personally, Massimo Zeffirino, is that I'm a generalist.
Right.
I see the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
I see how digital ads affect the social play.
Mm-hmm.
I see how your brand affects social. I see how, your logo and how it's being used in the presentation improperly affects the bigger brand. Okay. How it reflects the package design. Like that's my skill set.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I deliver that in a very niche space.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So going back to this jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than the master of one, it's kind of the realm I play in personally.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a huge value. Okay. If you want a niche, stack properly. Okay. But we're in the kind of space right now that if the right skills can amplify your value. Okay. But if you have limited skills, you are going to be replaced.
Yes.
Okay. So if you are just delivering logos, that end result, no process, nothing after the fact, guess what?
Yeah.
AI, Fiverr, cheaper designers across the other side of the world, they're all coming for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you can stack properly your skills or focus on an industry, okay, then you still have a huge opportunity here, I think.
And you could be the expert in that industry.
I think so, right? Yeah. So I think it's kind of I think this is kind of like a play on both. But I think the reality is you have to be aware that either you have to stack, okay, and be a generalist in that case, right?
Yeah.
Or be a generalist in a direction.
You're right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
But to just focus on an end result, I think that your future is going to be limited, personally speaking. I think so anyway, right?
Yeah.
I think you need to stack intentionally. Or you have to be, the rare combination of being a generalist in a very niche space.
Yeah.
Okay. Not a bloated fucking mess. Okay. But the reality is technology is moving so fast. And if you just think that you can deliver one thing and only one thing and don't provide any extra value before or after that, well, you're going to become easily replaceable.
Yeah.
Okay. Whether it's by another person, whether it's by an agency, or whether it's by a technology.
Right.
So again, you know what? You have to remember that, if ultimately when I read this, if people just think that their job as a graphic designer is to make things look good, right? And nothing else, you're not really a designer. You are fucking literally Canva with a pulse. Okay. And that's all you are. Okay. This isn't all about, like teasing on the Reddit rants. This is actual reality check. Okay. It is. This is the best industry to be in.
Yeah.
But the reality is, it's changing. It's evolving.
Right.
And either you have to stack your skills appropriately
Mhm.
and be prepared that you're not going to be doing just one thing all the time because you're just going to be decorating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Customers want more from you. And this isn't just the customer's fault. Okay. This is industry. Technology has changed. Tools are available. We are now like super designers. Our skill set has been intense. I don't even know how to describe this.
No, yeah. It's been amplified. Like nobody's business now.
What we are able to do is now so amplified
Yeah.
that it's up to you if you want to keep doing it that way or if you just kind of want to fade off in the distance and just kind of go another
and
direction.
just
My opinion,
Yeah.
okay, best industry to be in. Okay, no matter what. And I'm going to keep learning.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
here for just a 9-to-5 job.
No.
I love this. I breathe this. This is my passion. Being a designer for life, okay, is who I am.
Yeah.
And it has evolved so much the past 25 years.
Mhm.
I'm excited to see what the next 25 is.
Really?
I really am. But don't fool yourself. Okay, don't fool yourself and
Okay.
think that, what has brought us to today
Yeah.
is going to take us into the future.
Mm.
If you've been coasting through as a production artist
Mhm.
or as just making things look pretty for the past few years,
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah.
But don't think that that's what the future is going to look like.
I don't think so. No.
People
it's-
want more. People need more. Tools are there to amplify us and be more.
Yep.
And if you don't want to do it, there's going to be somebody hungrier, more willing to take on more because they have the tool stack
Mhm.
now to back up their skill stack.
Yep.
So again, your choice on what you want to do.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I thought this was great. So
This was awesome.
yeah, right.
And it was an interesting read, that Reddit post. I liked it. I thought there was some negative things, but there was also some really
Positive.
positive things where people who were just kind of like, you know what, just this is a good space. Let's
This
roll
is
with it.
exactly.
Learn.
dude.
I read the one guy talking about the growth mindset, and I was just like,
good point.
I love that. I just thought that was such a be curious about stuff.
That's right.
Yeah. It's
Again,
it's awesome stuff we have.
you can play defense. Okay,
Oh,
which is what a lot of people are
yeah.
doing, right?
You're
Or
right.
you can build the
Or-
skills, the right growth mindset, the
Yes.
value skills stack, okay?
Mhm.
And you do this will make you unignorable,
Mhm.
irreplaceable,
Right.
okay? And you follow this shit,
Mhm.
okay, you'll be happy.
Yeah.
You'll be
You'll
so happy.
love this.
Burnout isn't even going to be a
Not a
thing.
thing.
Your customer relationships are going to be great.
Yep.
You just need to understand, what it is that you're getting into. You do this,
Yeah.
it'll make you irreplaceable
Mm.
with a customer and it'll make you enjoy this journey. Like
Mm.
times 10.
Yes.
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 It's a journey.
It's a journey, right?
And
And-
learn and soak up as much as you can.
I think so.
It's awesome.
I think so. There's nothing else I want to do. That's for sure.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Okay. Enough of that. Guys, I want to hear about what you think about this. Okay. You know where to find us. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on our website, right? Leave us comments. We tend to be quite active in Instagram and in YouTube. Drop us a line. And don't forget, you want more of this, but like in an email form.
Oh, yes.
Okay. We have a newsletter called Anger Management for Designers, where we generally talk about topics like this. We have a comic in there. We talk about AI, throw a prompt or two.
Mhm.
Generally it's okay. It's pretty well received, but sign up on that either on our profile or, on our website. And, stick around because I think we got a lot more to talk about.
Oh, we got lots more to rant, lots more to talk about. Yeah.
All right, everybody. My name is Massimo.
My name is Sean.
Stay creative.
And stay angry.